Alright, here we go guys. Series 2 from this afternoon's stream of the unseen games from the 1v1 DauT Cup, which was the Clan Masters 1v1 Mini Cup. Renamed because the Chinese ZP clan sponsored the tournament for $1,500 and they really love DauT. It's as simple as that. We've just seen Niltford versus Fang Zhaoqi in round 1. This is another round 1 clash between Slam and Lix. And I think this is going to be a really awesome series. Both really great players to watch. Lix in particular does some crazy stuff at times. His level can be sort of all over the place sometimes, I've found. Obviously played out of his skin in Clan Masters to Grand Final, the actual team tournament. He was MVP for SY in a couple of the games there. Raid 1v1s, like he can do some unorthodox stuff, and I just think it's going to be really interesting to see him face Slam here, who's not that active in 1v1, but always comes in at a really high level when he does play 1v1. But then you also have the tournament factor with him. During Nilly's interview with him, they actually talked a little bit about this, but Slam doesn't always bring his highest level in tournaments. Like so much of AOC, just like life, is about that mentality, and he was actually talking about this, the fact that AOC, because somebody wanted Nilly to ask a question to Slam, which was like, what has AOC taught you about real life? And I thought Slam's answer was really good. It was like the fact that you need to bring the right mentality to things and how much mentality affects everything. And he was given that a nice sheep lamey here. My computer just froze for a second, so you may not have seen that properly because my mouse froze and everything, but Lick's not too happy about that sheep blaming. Probably wanted this to be played in friendlier spirits. But yeah, I really like that answer by Slam, and let's see how he adapts to this 1v1 tournament. He said he doesn't get nervous in team games, but he gets nervous in 1v1. But he will have had the previous days team games to actually get used to playing on the stage and such over in China, so going to be interested. But I think there's a pretty close match between the two. If Slam was like in great form and firing on all cylinders, then I'd give him an edge. But Lix has played a lot of rated games in recent months, and I feel that he's going to be pretty much a match for Slam here. Trying to work out what's been going on in the chat. Seems like nobody 41 has made a bad joke at some point. Oh my god, you played this exact same map, really? Well, on that note, let's take a look at the maps. Slam playing as the Britons, and he's got practically playing Arabian Black Forest with the amount of wood he's got. He can, with a few small wall tiles like here, maybe around here or there, and then obviously across all these gaps he can completely wall himself in. The only problem is his gold's all out the front, but weird looking map actually, and lots of space in the back to kind of drop TCs and abuse that nice boom in the castle age of Britain. So I think a good map overall, as long as he manages to access and keep his gold safe. Lix, decent looking map actually. Nice chunky looking wood lines that you can get walls here, and then have your lumberjacks working in safety even if archers or towers appear behind them. Really good looking map. Main gold's nice and safe. Second gold, put a TC here later. That you can't really farm around it, but you can get the gold in the wood. Good looking map. Only problem, hills across the front, but pretty much always have that in Arabia. But we do have a non-mirror match. Britons versus Celts. I talked in the first Dry Arabia game between Niltford and Fang Zhaoqi how the Arabia Invitational showed that top experts favour and win more with Celts in a situation where they can't pick Huns, Aztecs and Mayans. But Britons weren't far behind, and personally I like them more just for my own play style, but certainly it's both certainly very viable. Britain's so powerful in the Castle Age. I know Viper, I think, favours Britons in this sort of situation, and interesting to see his teammate Slam doing the same. Obviously in the castle age with their crossbows, they can take quite an advantage, but in the late game the Celt Heavy Siege kind of turns the table on their archers. So it's kind of flip-flops backwards and forwards really. Lix will go with a Drush, or possibly, yeah, it's going to be a Drush. Getting Loom. I hadn't really paid too much attention to his resources to see if he's going to be able to click up sort of soon, but normally you'd start producing the militia a little bit later if you're going to do fast stuff and man at arms. And Slam will go with Drush as well, whilst walling off at home through the small choke points. I love his building positioning here to make sure he keeps that gold safe. It's pretty much out of the range of a tower, could probably still hit part of the goal from around here somewhere or around here, but it's pretty much out of the range of archers, and he's already got an eye on walling off most of this map. In fact, he's sending a villager all the way down here. He's not scouted how good this area looks, so we could see some weird walls from him, and that's exactly what we're going to get as the Drushes clash on the front. Let's see the micro. Both players pulling injured ones and then refocusing. Lix is gonna come out. Is he gonna come out slightly better? Well, he doesn't have the scout in here, so that should swing it in Slam's favour. And scout does go down. Slam with 4 HP and 120 HP militia, so not too much. Where's he gone? Where's he sent that villager to? Okay, he's figured out this hole can be sealed up, and presumably he'll cancel this war. Lix following up that Drush with I thought it was going to be the forward to end war forward, but it was actually just a bunch of villagers going to the lumber camp. But 4 villagers forward as the remainder of Slam's Drush. Will it get killed by the wolf? Yes, which means that Slam will not see the villagers coming now, probably, as he notices the wolf moving. If he palisaded it or something, but I don't think he didn't, did he, on his point of view. Yeah, 4 gold for Slam is going to be up around a minute and a half later. Lix can hit that gold with a tower, but he's probably going to spend the next minute and a half dropping an archery range first and foremost, I would have thought. Is he on... No, he's not on stone at home, so going to be focusing on archery range and skirmisher forward. Slam goes archery ranges of his own. They will work faster, so it's actually kind of hard to forward a Britain's player with this kind of flush sometimes. But Slam is going to be a bit later, and obviously the element of surprise is there for Lix at the moment, given that Slam's militia died just in time. P90 in the chat, and wolves start killing units. Also of the ages, these games are from the DauT Cup. These are the games that haven't been seen just yet. There were lots of games being played at the same time, and we could only stream one set of the matches. And I don't know what games Mem streamed on his stream, but I assume at least the majority of the ones that we're going to see this afternoon are ones that haven't been seen by the community yet, unless you downloaded the Recs, because they were posted on AOC Zone last night if anyone wants to download all the games from the DauT Cup. But anyway, tower did come up for Slam and Lix, shooting each other. Lix with only the 4 villagers, and Slam should be able to win the tower fighting war and out repair it if need be. But it does mean that Slam's completely off gold for now. All 3 of Slam's golds are way out in the front, with those 2 extra golds being even further forward than the main one. So it stops Slam going into archers or anything at the moment. Not that that would be terribly advantageous when he's being forwarded by skirmishers. But it feels like Slam was aiming more towards a fast castle approach, with the walls obviously following up the drush, going up a bit later and floating a good amount of food. But what's happened with this forward from Lix, it's just slowed him down and mean that he didn't just execute an otherwise uninterrupted fast castle, and it's going to be hanging around in the feud later for a while longer, producing skirmishers. But he should still be in a much better position than Lix, who obviously went up a bit faster, sent 4 villagers forward, and has no resources in the bank at all. And actually, I was going to say losing a lot of skirms pretty quickly, but he was just making sure he got that villager kill, which I guess is worthwhile. One skirm for 1 vill, certainly. What he's doing as well is just trying to keep villagers away from the base of that tower and repairing it as well, I think, in addition to obviously he could micro the tower itself. Another villager coming forward. Seems he wants to drop more towers, and it's actually going to be an outpost round here.
Thank you.
Oh, we have another DauT. No, we have a subscription from Tolstoy of the Ages. Thank you, sir. Not sure if I've seen you so much on VB Official, but I've seen you hang around T90 stream quite a bit. Welcome to VO if it's one of your first times here. Why is it called DauT Cup? Because a bunch of Chinese people, a Chinese clan who like DauT, sponsored the tournament. There wasn't a substantial prize pool for the tournament until they stepped in. Slam needs to be careful. He's actually not walled around the back. I've only just spotted that myself. He's aware of this. He's fully aware of it. Or maybe he's just forgot. But Lix could actually, if he went round there with all those skirmishers and archers, he could do a sizable amount of damage pretty quickly. Slam did make a lot of skirmishers of his own, which are coming around the side here, trying to catch Lix from behind, and he's got the numbers there, as well as, okay, both players having done fleshing, and now they're fighting over getting the tower repaired. And Slam will delete his house and try and vill bash to the tower from the bottom. 1 villager going down straight away, but he's got enough skirmishers in there and more villagers in the tower shooting at the base, and I think this move by Slam to actually drive Lix away has worked out pretty damn well there. He'll want to get up some more houses in front of it, and he's actually gained a couple more tiles there if you like, should Lix choose to drop a second tower. But it feels like Lix is now eyeing richer pickings around the back of here. He's venturing into the darkness, and maybe he's clicked inside Slam's base to find out if it's walled or not, but seems not. He's found a lumber camp in his fog of war and going to drop the tower there, and also picking up another one here which will hit pretty much every panel of that gold.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have another one, man. And another subscription. Thanks, guys. All of the donations and subscriptions to VB Official do get used to support tournaments for AFC and other events. Obviously during this stream, which we're doing for Masters of Arabia 2v2, it's just the donations going specifically to Masters of Arabia 2v2, but subscriptions, they all just go into the pot to use for all the tournaments in general.
Have love.
And is Lix actually going to stonewall in Slam to stop him escaping from the side of the base? Looks that way. I still wish, just to see how it would work, he'd actually go around here and find out that this is not walled. This might actually prompt Slam to finally do something about that hole. But for now, Lix trying to go around the right side of Slam's base. Even as Slam launches his first counterattack, this is the first time he's applied any pressure to Lix whatsoever. So Lix is 3 villages ahead, even despite that one going down. Probably not going to be for much longer if these guys don't get home in time. But it's good for Slam that he's actually doing some damage to Lix back at home, because up to now Lix has been completely undisturbed, and being on the defensive the whole time is a really tough situation to be in. Nick's actually going for scouts as well now. It's pretty interesting. Like, I mean, he's managed to make a hole here, and he's managed. Well, he doesn't manage to make a hole here. There is a hole here, and Salam just doesn't seem to be the slightest bit interested about walling it up. Even as a second tower is going to come up there, which he hasn't actually seen. He's doing good damage at home, but Lick's 5 villages ahead with Slam on his going on the way up to the Castle Age. Looking very, very messy here with all the bumping going on in this wood line, but Slam not picking up the kills just now. It's not as the really big ball of skirmishes you need to like 1-hit or 2-hit villagers. Could really have helped if Slam had like 2 or 3 archers mixed in with this. But nonetheless, Lix has to really concentrate on driving it away from his economy all the time. I'm just really surprised that Slam didn't do more with the skirms, but I guess the reason he turned back is he saw the stable. Yeah, he saw the stable with the garrison flags, and so he thinks scouts are coming, so I better run. Unfortunately, he's now going to be intercepted, and those 2 scouts could well get all those skirms, really. Lix with that tower. Second tower and the northern wood line has driven Slam away from that entirely. He's already got preemptive towers here. And he's got one sort of there. If Lix gets another tower here or there, Slam is going to be in all kinds of trouble. Okay, Spearman out. Should get the scouts. If the skirms just stop running away, just so the spear can't catch up all the time. But yeah, Lick's just doing a great job. He pretty much owns Slam's base right now. And he's keeping it open to get the scouts in. Slam going to the Castle Age, but even he does have a good number of skirms, but with the resource denial that's going to go on, Slam's going to struggle to get all the upgrades that he wants to. Bodkin Arrow being researched. But here we see Lix taking those fights against Slam's skirm army before they can be upgraded and really reducing the numbers, and now Lix just has at least double the number of skirms in Slam's base, and even with the villagers getting involved, and now the skirm ball with an archer or 2 in there as well is now at the point where those villages are just being almost 1-hit by the skirm ball, and that's a really dangerous position to be in. Ideally at this point Slam would need a mangonel, but he can't mine gold and he's struggling to actually chop wood as well. Like, there's no way he can afford a siege workshop and a mangonel at this point. And he's now 13 villagers behind Lix, who shows no sign of wanting to go up to the Castle Age. He's pretty much empty on resources apart from wood. He's gonna focus on trying to win this in the feudal age. Oh, Slam does actually get a siege workshop. Was I being stupid and that was on the screen when I was saying, oh, he can't afford a siege workshop? And he will get a mangonel now. He must have been using the resources that he had left in the bank at that point, but he's going to struggle to actually replace that. So it's this kind of one mangonel or bust situation. Looks like an interesting construction of a market there. He doesn't really have too many resources to sell. Let's see if Slam can get the mangonel shot that he so desperately needs at this point. But Lix is on point, does the split, retreats in time, and 2 towers here, still some vills that could potentially repair them or jump into the towers to add some arrows. And we're gonna get the tower that I said could do the real sort of, not killing blow, but just probably the most damaging tower of all that he could actually do to Slam at this point. Considering that's the only place Slam is actually getting wood from that isn't surrounded by towers. This is really important though for Slam actually picking off these 2 vills. I was going to say, I assume the male villager that was around here is still lurking about somewhere, and he's still in play. So getting those 2 vills doesn't necessarily. Is Lix is going for the double market strategy. What is he doing? He doesn't have anything to sell, and he's doing double market. Thanks so much, Tolstoy. Thank you for both subscribing and specifically donating to the tournament as well. Really appreciate supporting AOC like that. Just give me a moment, guys. I want to update the prize pool counter, if you like, and then the game's paused, so we're not missing anything. Let me check the amount. That was 15. So
thank you.
Oh,
thank
another
you,
one.
Thank you, you wonderful
LB10.
man.
Thank you very much. Gain. Wow. I'm in the donation train hype. Need to do it in game as well. It's going so dark here. I just need to put the light on. Right, here we go. Let's continue with the games. But I had to put the light on. We changed to GMT time in the UK today. Clocks went back, so it just gets dark so early. But anyway, pretty massive engagement on the front, right in the middle of the map between the two players' bases. We've got a lot of skirms on the field. Military populations between the two are pretty even at this point. Slam has ridden out a rocky period in this game when he looked in all kinds of trouble. I was thinking Lix was going to be able to maybe close this out with the just level of control that he had around Slam's base and the harassment, but I guess just with one mangonel it really turns the tides. And yeah, Slam, although he's going to be about 5 villages behind still by the time Lix reaches the castle age, he is now finally gathering resources at home a little bit better, and he's now also adding some pressure to Lix's base. Picked up a couple of vills on here whilst we were waiting to see if the big mangonel shot was going to happen as well. And yeah, overall I'd say the game's starting to stabilise, and this could develop into a really good one, I think. We're still just wondering what the hell Lix was doing, because I don't think he needed one market, let alone 2. And he's still not deleted that market, not that he would get a terrible or a terrific amount of wood back from actually doing so, given that it's on 81%. See this mangonel shot, it's got the heal bonus. Lix looking. Oh, just dodging it. Taking quite a lot of damage on all those skirms now, and it's a really hard fight for, well, I was going to say it was a really hard fight to take anyway with Slam having the +2, but he's getting elite skirm as well now. It's gold looking pretty damn messy. Unfortunately for Slam, it's so tight here, he can barely get a mining camp in that sort of position where he'd really like it. But with being Britons, he's going to head out and probably drop 1 or 2 of those cheap TCs right on the extra gold and some wood. And is he going to put another one somewhere else? I don't know. Let's focus on the mangonel and the elite skirmishers in the back of that base. Lix hitting the castle age. Will that take a look at to see what his reaction is? Is he producing knights straight away? Yep, he's actually added a second stable. Got 2 knights queued up in each one. A lot of resources in the bank. So gets like +1 armor on those knights. He'll be in a good position to clear up the mangonel and the skirmishers pretty well. But I guess you could say that if Slam gets Lix investing a lot in knights now, he's kind of got him sort of where he wants him, making Celt knights. Isn't really optimal, and Slam now onto a second TC, and I'd assume he'll get a third one up fairly soon, being the Britons and having that available for cheaper, and probably catching up and eventually surging ahead with villagers and going into more typical Britons play, because as soon as Lix goes on to knights, then he can start defending with some crossbows as well back at home. Only issue obviously is Lix adds mangonel to that as well, but monastery as well though, really helping to drive those knights away, but there's only 1 monk in there, and Lix did go pretty heavy on the knights. He got +2 armor as well, so I'm going to assume he's still producing. Oh no, he's actually not. I thought he was maybe going to make a few more, but we've seen the fast monk transition from Slam. and decided to cut that production. He doesn't need to be too... well, he doesn't need to overextend too much. I mean, he's still got a slight villager lead. He's getting onto a second TC, and once to add a third one, almost out of the map. It's a Bua TC, guys. But no. People make fun of those TCs where you can't build farms on one map edge, but it's still pretty good. And it doesn't have many options to actually drop TCs on wood in other spots. So I quite like that one still. You always check the HP of a unit that a wolf is chasing to see if the wolf's going to get it. In this case, I don't think so. But yeah, that one knight can actually pick up quite a lot of vills here. Mind you, I forgot the TC is here that they can run to. But could have potentially been a nice catch for Lix if he sent more units there. So like 2 or 3 knights. Looks like Lix preparing for potentially a push through the middle of the map a little bit. Assembling his knights and bringing a mangonel forward. But Slam with a large army at home now, his military population pretty big. 35, 3 monks in there, and I heard relic being picked up somewhere. I'm going to assume that's Slam's monk getting that as... Oh no, Lix does have a monastery, and he's the first one picking up the relic there. Another one right in the middle of the map that he'll be good to get, one down here. So he could easily get up to 3 relics pretty quickly. Seems like the 2 armies are now going to meet. Slam and has a nice hill here for now. And with that forward knight sort of seeing Lix coming, he might stay to the top of the hill. And indeed, yeah, he goes back. He probably wants Lix to kind of come up here a bit and then let the monks rip with their conversions. Get some nice uphill shots with his archery units, but great shot by the Mangonel, picking up a monk and taking one to low HP, picking up a second one, and that really helps to turn the tide a bit for Lix. If that's going to be 2 less conversions, and if yes, that is pretty important, but he needed to avoid losing the Mangonel. This is still a very large army to take on with those knights. I think the knights would win, plus 2 armor being done, but if he'd had the Mangonel, it would have been a really great fight to take. But he has another one, so is he going to go for it? See if Sam's producing any more monks. Yeah, he's just started producing another one. And Bowsaw, kind of late. But then again, like a while ago back, he had a lot of wood, but not so much gold or anything else, so maybe he delayed it initially and then sort of forgot for a little while. Neither player really wants to commit in this. It's kind of hard with the northern edge of the hill and the forest being there to like solidly get the hill advantage, because they're sort of fighting a longer hill. Really, Slam wants to stay in a more I just said he wanted to stay in a little bit more defensive posture, try and cling to this hill. But I'm going to venture out, and with the Mangonels being completely out of position, at least 2, if not 3 monks over here, getting 2 conversions straight away. That's turned that fight really quickly in Slam's favour. Looking at villagers though, Lix actually now 20 villagers ahead at this point, so he's probably looking good to be first up to the Imperial Age. I will switch to his point of view in a minute once we've seen these shots, just to see what his resource situation is looking at. Slam has no food at all at this point. All the food that he's getting is going on villages and upgrades. I keep thinking that there's like raiding going on in Slam's base, because it's lighting up like a Christmas tree, but it's just all these towers constantly hitting him. Made me look away in the crucial moment. But yeah, I would say that I wanted to look at Lix's point of view, see if he's floating resources in. Actually, at that moment, clicking to the Imperial Age. So I'm going to be preparing for the Woad Raider transition, backed up by Siege. And I think if Lix is adding 2 or 3 Mangonels, eventually on he goes to that. Or even just Rams, really, with the Woads. Then Slam's going to have a lot of trouble. The thing is, in the next few minutes, he's got 41 army, whilst Lix has 14. He can pretty much one-shot knights. He's got ballistics. The knights don't have bloodlines, so they don't have that extra bit of tankiness, and he could run in and do sizable damage to Lix in the next couple of minutes. I feel like he needs to make the most of that, because he's still going to be in the castle age for quite a long time. Only 229 food. Just from his point of view, I'd really like to see him maybe going down here and pushing in there, because at the moment he's just kind of walking over there where the knights and the mangonels and the castle are, and he's not going to do damage there. Maybe he would think about potentially if he went down here, maybe if this was walled he'd get trapped if the mangonels came there, but yeah, he's just not doing damage for the most part. And Lix, with his market going absolutely crazy, selling wood and buying stone from another castle, so focusing on woad production and really ramping that up when he hits the Imperial Age, because at the moment still on just the one castle, as we can see in the overlay. I guess somewhere here would be a good spot, securing the third gold and the back of those wood lines, because he's basically ran out of wood on the left hand side now. Now this is the raiding that I wanted to see from Slam when I was saying I want to see him head down here and do some damage. The problem is the knights could now clean him up, and I guess that is one of the reasons why he might have been hesitant to do it. But those knights, they have sustained quite a bit of damage, and with micro, and he's now going to get some heal bonus as well, should be able to kill some knights and get some more vills while he's here, but ultimately get cleaned up. Lix is going nuts with the market. selling wood, selling more wood, buying food. Good raid by Slam here in the north though, hitting the stone, which is important whilst Lix is trying to get more castles and hitting farms. We saw Lix selling wood to buy food, so taking out a bunch of farmers whilst Lix is actually wanting food so desperately as to be buying it. Really good move by Slam, and he's actually got all of the knights. It looks like he brought either his own knight that he converted ages ago, or brought more monks forward. I don't know which, probably just his own knight from a previous conversion, and he's managed to survive that. So we missed. I thought he was going to get cleaned up because there was a sizable amount of skirmishes in that group. But actually keeping some units alive, and importantly some crossbows, which means he can continue pretty much slaughtering vills. And he's raiding well, really well, during the first stages of Lix's Imperial Age transition. And he uses hill advantage as well to hit these woads. They're only +2, and she should be able to get them. Just about leaving maybe 4 crossbows alive. So he can still do some damage to villagers that are there in the north. He's bringing a lot more over. What is Lix doing with that trebuchet? Are you serious? No, he's not serious. He's going back. I like the castle positioning. I'd still like to see eventually another one come up over here to secure all of this resource. But castle positioning is good. It's really commanding position in the middle of the map, the highest hill. Gives him a good base to push from. And Wode's now starting to be really annoying, just sort of diving under TCs, using their incredible speed to just hunt down villagers. Although with Sam on his way to Imperial Age, he will be able to get Arbalest soon and sort of snipe down Wode Raiders as they're running around. In the north, Slam continues to idle a lot of his villages. He's actually got 30 idols, and with Slam having closed the villager gap to just 8. So pretty good for Slam at the moment. It's actually had a bigger economy working for the last few minutes. Problem is, losing TC on the front means that a lot of farmland, lumber gathering and gold mining is being taken away from him. Just kind of a big mess here. Hard to work out what's going on, but it seems like because the Wode Raiders are actually focusing on these crossbows, Slam probably isn't going to clean this up at all. I guess if the Wode Raiders have been killing vills, the crossbows might have done something, but the Wodes do have +4 armour now, whereas previously when the crossbows were doing okay against the roads over here, it was +2 armour, and Now Slam just not seeing an option to actually re-establish control over the front of his base. The Woad's doing fatal damage just as the Imperial Age was about to be reached by Slam. I think Slam did a good job whilst Lix was just after he hit the Imperial Age, did a lot of raiding, but I think in order to slow Lix down more, he needed to do more raiding whilst Lix was on the way. Ultimately, though, the thing that was sort of contributing earlier on to the game being decided in Lix's favour was just Lix being able to boom up a lot more than Slam. And that was thanks to the early game aggression. Lix just applied so much pressure to Slam's sort of cramped area to actually build up, put towers everywhere, stopped him gathering resources, and Slam, despite being Britons, didn't really get TCs up that quickly, didn't get into much of a boom, and he's always playing catch up, and it's kind of difficult against Celts when they hit him several minutes before you, because the Woad Raid is just so good at just turning the tables on you and doing what it says in the tin, doing the raiding, pretty much in the same way that Eagle Warriors do. They don't quite have the line of sight, but they can, or the Pierce armor, but they can function in a similar way in the early Imperial Age. But I think Slam did good defense overall. I thought he was going to be GG at like minute 30 or minute 25. I can't remember exactly, but for a moment he really pushed out and stabilised the game for a bit before falling behind again. No, I'm on 50 speed, nobody. I might speed it up at some point. So, 1-0 Lix. Best of 3, of course. We'll see Slam's home map now. I have no idea what he would choose against Lix. I'm going to take a break for 1 minute and then we'll get into that next game. Alright, here we go. Game 2. Slam's home map. Let's see what he picked. Find the recording. Yeah, so I believe the settings were hidden sieve, no repeat pick. I haven't mentioned that at any point in the stream yet, and we're on like game 5 technically, ignoring that arse of a game that was game 2 on decentering between Milford and Fangzhou. But it looks like Baltic to me. Yep, indeed. So both players going with Vikings predictably, and Slam fancying himself on water here. Baltic being one of the quintessential Grush maps, of course. You have the option of crossing to your opponent's side around the outside, but the land is so thin. It can be kind of hard to do. Normally gets walled off. And players will fight for control of the middle water. Lix's TC almost in the water. But yeah, it's going to be really important to see the player's execution in the Dark Ages here. Uptime important as well, and then micro with the galleys in the feudal age, and then kind of race to castle age, getting war galley ballistics. Interesting to see Slam going with Baltic against Lix though. I seem to remember Clan Masters Grand Final game number, was it number 3 when they played AP2 Rivers. I think Slam and Lix were opposite each other on the Tyrant River, so they basically had a really close quarters Grush fight, and Lix seemed to be winning that until Viper helped with fire ships. So, and then Lix was like doing huge damage to the Tyrant right flank on islands as well. Like Lix was MVP of that game. So interesting that Slam actually wants to fight Lix on water here. Generally, like in the past, some international experts and Tyrant experts have kind of always fancied themselves and backed themselves on water against the Chinese players, who have typically been considered as just like a slightly lower level than, you know, the likes of Viper and Fire and Riot on water, for example. But saw China or SY beat Tyrant and Islands in the Clan Masters final, of course, with some good individual performances. So I feel like the Chinese teams are getting stronger on Islands lately. You even see them pick it as a home map sometimes against other teams. I don't think they'd do that against Tyrant, but I swear they used it as a home map at some point in Clan Masters. That's my mind's completely deceiving me. Both players just now thinking about their front dock. Playing that villager forward, who's also a house builder, of course. And literally at exactly the same time, the docks are being placed directly opposite each other. Fishing wise, I mean, it's hard to make a bad dock if you just dock the main area of the water on Baltic. Slam, perfect fishing though. 2 tiles all the way around, 2 or 3 tiles distances. Got a marlin right in front of his base, which I think, right in front of his dock, which I think gathers a tiny bit faster than the other deep fish. So interesting to see if he puts the fishing boats on that one. It's also the closest, so it makes sense. Likewise for Lix, got a marlin right there. Though fishing not quite as plentiful, it's a little bit further out to the deep water for him, but all much of a muchness. Who donated $25? Did someone donate and I missed it? I don't see that on the stream alerts. I've got, yeah, and we're still on. The people who've donated today are Dr. Jack, Armageddon, Tolstoy, and LB10. So thank you to all of those once again. Lix doing Loom now. It's one of those things you kind of have to get on Baltic that you might otherwise try to avoid on islands, because obviously the enemy scout will be patrolling around looking to pick off a villain, especially when it gets to the feudal age and gets its bonus. Yeah, we should be seeing players click up in about 30 seconds. Slam already dropping off food, getting very, very close indeed. Going to be a great uptime for him. And he's actually... I don't know if it's because his fishing ships were idle. Yeah, it's because his fishing ships were idle. I was going to say he's 2 villages ahead, but actually it's just because fishing ships turn into villages when they go idle, I think, on the overlay. But for now it seems like Lix has had a little bit of a worse Dark Age, and he's going to have to go up on higher population as well. And the uptime difference is going to be pretty sizable between the two players. Lix probably going to be half the feudal age behind. Let's just quickly tab out for that donation. Let's see what happened. I need to refresh. Smarthy, wow, thank you so much. $30, we appreciate you. Let me add this to the text on screen to keep track. Thanks so much for supporting Master Arabia 2v2 Smarthy, up to $265 now. Need to do it in game and out of game. Smarthy hype in the chat. Let's get that game running again. Lix has now clicked up to the feudal age. He's going to be a full minute behind Slam, so it's going to be about a 2 galley difference. He's not ahead on fishing ships either, and he's even going to be later to his second dock. In fact, what's he doing? Don't tell me he's going to go for the sneak on the land. Don't tell me he's going for the sneak on the land and he's not even going to... Or is he doing both? Is he going to try and sneak, do a sort of half rush and half sneak? Second dock is going to be late. Slam has 2 sheep here. Wolf trying to intercept the villager. Wonder if those sheep scouts actually spot it. Slam. He's left those there. I don't think it's deliberate, or is it? You think maybe he'd put one there and one there? Let's go on view lock for him. On his view lock, does he see it? You saw his view lock went over there, so he's just seen the. Why did it disappear? This is really interesting. Getting a sense of his speed as well now.
Yeah.
Keeping that scout active in the northern part of his base. Let's just take it off view lock for a second to see the galleys coming. Gonna go and get the fishing ships. Lix is really late on the galleys.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, you
Getrix,
wonderful man.
thank you very much. Wow, the donations coming in thick and fast now. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much, Getrix. Just hoping to have a really successful tournament and motivate as many of our favourite top players to sign up as we can. So that was 290. Wow. Game is on pause while I fix this. Okay, Slam now hunting down Lix's fishing ships. Lix still a bit delayed on the galleys, although they're about to pop out. He's got his scout that has picked up the villagers trying to sneak for Lix, and the wolves, well, 2 wolves that the villagers actually encountered on their way have damaged the one villager to the point where Slam got a free hit on the one villager, and now it's a 1v1 duel to the death. Only one winner there between the scout, the feudal scout, and the villager. This wolf was pretty crucial in making sure that the female villager was close to death, and that means that Lix's sneak is completely destroyed at this point. Lix is going to go for fishing ship snipes, but he's already 6 military to 3. If both scouts are still alive, then that's 5 to 2 on the water end. Slam easily killing Lix's galleys whilst he tries to snipe fishing ships. and Lix only picked up 1 fishing ship kill to Lix's 3. No, sorry, Lix only picked up 1 fishing ship kill to Slam's 3, so Slam's still ahead by 2 fishing ships, and with full control of the water already, Lix didn't go to a 3rd dock either. It's looking pretty bleak for Lix, isn't it? To lose the water this early on Baltic, to have lost 2 villagers. And he's not going to contest the water, he's going to try a transport, but where is he going? He's going straight down the middle of the lake, trying to go past the galleys, and he's calling the GG straight away. We didn't even get to see the transport sunk. Wow, how a game could turn. Wolf definitely on Slam's side, but Slam saw it, knew about it, shut it down, won the water, and then intercepted the transport, which wasn't sent on a very clever route by Lix, I have to say. But that was... I think the game was basically over the moment Lix's 2 villagers died, because Lix had already lost the water anyway. So, quick game 2, and it's going to be 1-1, and we'll go to the 3rd game between Slam and Lix, which will be Lix's own map. And no repeat hidden civ, of course. So Vikings and then Britons and Celts, depending on the player, unavailable. Yeah, people saying those donations in the chat are strong, very much so. Thanks so much, guys. And Nomad for Lix. So Smarty's happy. Both players going with Persians. Interesting. Neither one going for Chinese. Persians obviously top tier as well. Starting with extra food and wood being a particularly good bonus on a map where it can be so hard to locate some starting resources. Let's see where the players choose to put down their TCs. Lix with a nice forage patch that he found, and just immediately dropping the TC next to berries and wood. That will ensure that he has a good start and won't have any TC idle time. Although it is a little bit harder to end up with idle anyway if you're Persians. Slam, meanwhile, just dropping the TC on the first wood he found. He'd walked a little way already, didn't find anything much, so he's just going to hurry up and get on the first wood line. His other villager is out in the eastern corner building a dock and a house. His fishing here is going to be pretty good. It's not going to last forever, but there's 2 marlins and some other deep fish there, and that will keep him going through the early game. And eventually I imagine he'll put another dock down here where, depending on where Lix docks, he's pretty much going to have private fishing for a lot of the game as long as he stops Lix moving around. Rest of Slam's map, he's got plenty of deer, sheep and boars all to the north. They're actually directly in between the 2 players, so they'll probably be fighting over those resources quite a bit during the game. Slam's villager, returning from the east corner, will locate all of this. He'll find some gold as well. Well, he'll locate the boars anyway. Find some stone, and Slam does have more gold there as well. So, decent map for Slam, but the problem is that if Lix ends up taking some of this from him, he hasn't got that much, and all the mines are sort of out towards the middle of the map. He hasn't got much in the back down here to work with, but certainly fishing wise in a good spot. And he's with those boars being close to his TC, even if Lix finds them early, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get at least 2. Lix probably needs loom or some excellent sheep blocking to actually take these anyway. Lix did do 3 villagers to build his TC straight away, so he's docks a bit later. We can see from this nice star on the map where his villagers came in from. Probably there, and there, just coming straight into the middle. Doing TC, and none of them starting in an obvious spot to be dock builders straight away. So TC first, dock later for him. And he's going to dock out in the west where there's lots of deep fish as well. So I think both players, they'll be having uninterrupted fishing for quite some time before they finally meet on the water, because they'll be going all the way around the outside edge with the landlock being in the southwest. Lix with a good forage patch right by his TC. Could also think about taking the shorefish potentially with you know, if he wants to mill at some point, then put it the other side. The berries take a couple of shorefish as well. Deer in the back and some out to the west as well. Gonna bring 10 fish home with his dock builder. Lots of deer surrounding Lix's base actually. The difficult thing for him though is that the golden stone is pretty much all by Slam. In the north there's nothing, and all the golden stone on the map is to the east or more towards the southern part where Slam is, as well as one main gold down here. So Slam with a better spot overall, and I guess the other issue for Lix is he's just kind of lacking space. Like he's built on a hill with a pond next to him, more water over here, and you know, if he's gonna build up his economy, it's probably going to be back out over here somewhere, because this area is going to be crucial. It's a big hill overlooking both TCs. In fact, neither player having much in the way of room to build up. And Lix actually taking one of those long distance boars, but Slam getting two, as I thought it might end up being. Does spot the second one trying to run away. Shall not escape, piggy. But yeah, this middle area is going to be crucial. Slam's already getting some radar houses up in the area. One villager's just exploring the map, dropping houses, finding out the lay of the land, and also discovering that his opponent isn't too far away. So if we can already work out that Lix is going to be somewhere directly to the north rather than like in the east somewhere over here. Lix meanwhile exploring the map with sheep. Got really good exploration, which is why his score's so much higher at this point. If you just quickly switch between the point of views, Lix has uncovered so much more of the map. He does have about a half villager advantage because he did build the TC with all 3 villagers, but I was going to say he should be behind in fishing economy, but actually it's Slam who has got 1 less fishing ship as well. But Slam obviously was probably putting more villagers onto food straight away. I don't know. I have to think that is the reason why Lix has got a fishing ship out earlier, even though he got... Sorry, 1 extra fishing ship, even though he got... I need to start this sentence again. I have to think that's the reason why Lix has 1 more fishing ship, even though Slam got his dock up earlier. Although, maybe... No, it's one the idle ship there. I was wondering if it was 1 less because the fishing ship had gone idle and counted as a villager.
Salam.
Lix also exploring with a Vil. Slam's not having any of that, and he sent a villager chasing after each other. But if they were to turn around and have a fight, it'd be anybody's guess who wins because they're both on full HP. But Slam just needs to make sure that villager doesn't just do pesky stuff like wall him in. It's always better if you see a rogue enemy villager walking around near your base, near Nomad, it's always best just to make sure you know what they're up to at the very least, even if you're not going to chase them down across the entire map. And Slam now thinks better of it, having driven her away out of his perimeter. Milling deer for Slam in a good spot. That's a extra sized deer patch, and I think he's going to have a really nice Dark Age here. He's had 2 boars already sitting on 400 food, 5 fishing ships working efficiently, and he'll be up any moment. It's fantastic start to the game for him. Lix meanwhile only 150 food, got 1 population more from that extra fishing ship, but it's going to be quite a long way behind Slam. And with this situation where the hill between the 2 players is so key, and where Lix is going to be struggling to get a golden stone, I think Slam being up early and doing feudal army earlier, maybe dropping a tower, is going to be a really important advantage for him. Lix actually naming deer there. She was the one that was running from over here that Slam was chasing. He still managed to do some damage. But yeah, Slam on the way to feudal age. See how much more delayed Lix is. He almost got to 500. No, Wicked, don't apologise for cluttering the chat. I mean, one of the functions of the stream is obviously to get people to learn about Vubli and start playing on Vubli. What it's all about, man. But yeah, Lick's actually delayed by about 45 seconds relative to Slam. Did go up on a slightly higher population. There's a full population difference, 2 villagers, 2 fishing ships. So let's see if he's able to use that slight economic advantage to counter the fact that Slam's going to be up and probably applying pressure a bit faster than him. Slam did do barracks on the way, so signalling his intention to go with a feudal age military building probably straight away once he gets to feudal age. Lick's going with his own barracks right on the top of that hill. So let's see, what's the reaction? Double bit axe, town watch, stable. I guess with Lick's being so compact here, it could be difficult to do too much damage to Lick's main area of villages with the scouts, but what it will do is shut Lick's down in terms of taking resources elsewhere. These sorts of villages will be extremely vulnerable, and I guess Slam, with his limited exploration, doesn't realise just how good it would be to keep Lick's close to the TC with scouts roaming around, because he won't know just how difficult it's going to be for Lick's to actually take stone or gold in this map. Picking Nomad as a home map, always a bit of a gamble. There's always a luck factor involved, and whilst you can mitigate it with map experience and good play and intelligent decision making, you just can't ever eliminate that luck factor, even significantly. The Lick's decided to take gold out here, which I guess is the best option instead of this one. It had to be a choice of one of those two. A little bit more out of the way of Slam, a little bit less likely of him to find it, and indeed he hasn't even seen it for now. And Lick's does have the outpost there, giving a little bit of advance warning, but that villager should survive. Slam wanted to get a tower there, but he's deleting it, and he's putting it in one tile further back, just making it a little bit easier to get it up. But Lick's on the way to Castle Age. That's greedy. I mean, if he manages to get up and get knights, then sure, but I feel like he's in a lot of danger in the next 2 minutes. Let's have a look at what Slam's on. Is he on any stone to continue dropping towers? Mining 2 villages on gold just to eventually get up towards 200 gold. No stone being mined. Got a wall down here with a villager on idle there. Lick's being forced to do a tower right by his TC, and it's not going to go up in time to deny Slam's one. I think it's only got 1 additional villager building it, and Slam comfortably 10-15% ahead on building the tower there. Slam's tower won't really hit the wood line, but certainly is a major threat to any units being produced from the stable and the barracks. And it just gives Slam a lot of control over this whole middle area of the map between the 2 players. Scouts thought they were going to circle around the back. Still haven't ventured over here to find this area for Lick's. It's completely unexplored for Slam. As is this. Although if Slam's being really attentive to this, he might wonder why Lick's is sending spears that we just saw disappearing out of the fog of war here. I mean, why else would you send spears here unless you're protecting something there? So if Slam saw that, I'd expect him to go and pay a visit to this area, but the villas are walled in, so the scouts wouldn't initially be able to hurt them. So Lick hits the castle age, gets scaled barding armor, queues knight in his stable. He's already done 3 scouts. Meanwhile on the water, 2 galleys for Slam, picking off some fishing ships. The villager for Lick's in the eastern corner is just loitering around, not really doing too much. I'd love to see Slam just do another dock down here. It would be so good for him, but it is wood that he'd have to spend. But he may be choosing to deploy elsewhere for now, such as on galleys to actually kill Lick's fishing ships, although fire ship is out in defence, and a second one. So monastery for Lick's. With Slam being full scouts, not that effective, but he's going to pick up the relic right there and start deriving some income from that straight away. What's she doing? The house. I think she is the one that was hiding behind that wall down there. So the scouts and the knight pop out the stable for Lix. Pick up some vills straight away, although I think 4 still hopped into the tower, and there's a lot of spears there for Slam, and those vills will actually get the stable. And that's really blown a hole in Lix's strategy if he doesn't have a stable for a little while now, because he wanted to go FC and do knights, but if his knight production is completely shut down by not having a stable for a bit, then it's really slowing him down. He's actually going to go siege workshop. Fireship moving in on Slam's fishing ships, but with 3 galleys there, should be able to pick it up. So curious about the siege workshop decision. The monastery and the siege workshop it's almost like a smush, isn't it? But with Slam having scouts and spears around, I'm not sure about it. And this tower is really important. I wanted to look earlier to see if Slam was on stone. Did he go on? Yeah, he went on stone back at base. So able to add in that second tower with the map control that he's actually gained. Sorry for my voice keep sort of going weird. Still getting over a cold. Really lost my train of thought. Yeah, using the map control to add the second tower, and I think he's seen all the villagers sort of run away over here, so that's clued him into going over here now and having a look for the first time in the game. I mean, you can see the villagers chopping wood there. It's kind of obvious that that's where Lix has gone, because all these lumberjacks ran away, and you can see a tree line over here. So, good place to drop another tower. Although he seems more interested in repairing this one against the Mangonel, and also going into the tower to add in the extra damage with the hill advantage. So he's doing sizable damage to the Mangonel. 2 more villagers going to finish off that tower. I was wondering if he'd leave it, because he left it on 33 HP, so Lix could actually see it. The fire ships are doing work though for Lix. He's definitely killed a good number of fishing ships here, and got those galleys as well. The Lix doing fairly well on the water, although he's lost almost all his fishing ships at home. No fire ships in defence, and 2 galleys for Slam will eventually find these guys. Meanwhile, at home, Slam, 4 scouts coming from the stable, 2 more being in production. He wants to run in there and just deal huge damage. There's not really any spears left for Lix. He did have quite a few at one point, but I think they took part in this big fight over here and here. And now I just don't see a way to counter this composition for Lix. And I mean, he's building with 1 spearman at a time, but Slam's got towers hitting it. He's got 3 spearmen of his own. Monks aren't going to help really too much. And Mangonels aren't really going to help. So these 4 scouts can pick up a lot of kills on the wood line. Lix can fight it, but he will suffer a lot of damage in the process. And Slam's actually done +1 armour as well. It means this is a really poor fight for the villagers to actually take, because they just don't do that much damage against the scouts. Slam had forging now. It'd be a massacre. Wondering what these villagers are doing next. Gonna see another tower from somewhere, perhaps. Meanwhile, top right corner, Lix moved his gold to here. He wasn't under any threat, I guess, but with Slam roaming around sort of here, he probably just felt the heat and wanted to move his gold mining operation just a little bit further. Slam, yes, he's done his dock down here, the redock in the south, where he's going to have private fishing for a long time. I like that. He's also cleaned up Lix's fishing ships. And it's just looking so messy for Lix. I said at the start, like, he doesn't seem to have much space to actually build anything, and it's kind of worked out that way. He's running around all over the place. And got nowhere to put farms, not that he's even I suppose he needs enough. He does need more food actually. He could do with more farms because he's lost the water. He's hasn't even got enough farms to keep his TC running, and he can't afford to do spears alongside that as well. Now doing a market because the only thing he's able to really gather is wood. But Slam bought a couple of hundred food, I think, and on the way up to the Castle Age can easily finish this with pretty much anything he wants to do on the Castle Age. Because Lick's just, with his economy in such a terrible state, he has nothing. But I expect Slam maybe continue to add a scout or two, maybe get some knights and some upgrades, and even siege on this hill and just push in and finish it. Game is definitely his to throw away at this point. Inclined to just speed it up a little bit once we wait for Slam to get to the Castle Age and see what he does with it. Don't want to go too fast because if it's too fast then it does ruin the experience, but in the games. But at the moment we're waiting to just Slam's waiting for the Castle Age, Lix is waiting to get some economy going. 2 relics in the bank is quite helpful, but you do need time for relics to actually help you. Certainly the long-term investment to get them. Or a medium-term investment, but those scouts from Slam have found the motherload of villagers chopping the sole remaining place that Lix can actually get wood from, and Slam now knows exactly where to send his knights when he gets up to the Castle Age. Chain barding armor being researched. Well, I say when he gets up to the Castle Age, he is in the Castle Age, but yeah, +2 being researched. First knight's coming out. He's got bloodlines as well. There are 2 monks out for Lix. Couple of spears, and he's actually going to try and get the wall up here, but there's nothing too much if Slam actually gets enough knights to stop him just running straight past the TC. And there's a hole here, look at that. Or is there? No, there's not. The mill must be yeah, the mill's touching that tree, and presumably it's touching the house as well, unless there's a hidden like palisade tile or something behind it. Lamb, what are you doing? Oh, he's actually didn't stop the wall off. He's killed the spears with the galleys helping out. It seems those galleys may... Okay, they could have taken the damage from the fire ship, but that could have been the spears attacking the galleys and doing huge bonus damage because ships are camels. AoE logic. And we all love it. But yeah, those 2 scouts continuing to be a nuisance. If anything, rather than killing villagers, what they're doing right now is making the pathfinding and the bumping even worse, because Lix has already got like huge congestion going on there. The knights and the villagers are through the hole, and now 4, 5 plus 2 knights with forging coming in. Lix, what are you going to do about this, son? Absolutely nothing. You've got 2 monks. Or 3 monks, okay. He needs conversions with all 3. But the scouts killed the monks pretty quickly, and Lix he's got 3 knights. He must have produced one of his own, but just look at the state of this. Just look at it. You're not going to win the game like that. Or like this. Like, he has no food income. He doesn't have a working farmer, pretty much. He has like maybe 2. Has no water control. He can look at the score. He knows that Slam's economy has been uninterrupted for the whole game, and he hasn't seen the fishing over here, so probably works out that Slam's still on water down here as well. And a castle, which I completely missed. Oh my god, sorry, I've been casting this a bit lazily because I've just been of the opinion that Slam was winning this for quite some time, but the castle on the TC may have been the thing that caused the GG as the final blow, just like, yep, you're done, mate. Type GG, I'm going through to the next round. Says Mr. Slam. So, fun game, certainly interesting one, with aggression right from the get-go, with Slam being up quite fast. So Hugo went through to the next round. I'm not going to tell you the next result of in the following round. They were casted by somebody, I can't remember who exactly, and they're on our YouTube channel. They were being restreamed, so it's the live stream from China, where unfortunately the image quality wasn't what we usually bring, because that was just how it had to be, the technical aspects of it. But the games are on there, and he played Riot, if I'm not mistaken, so you can watch those on our YouTube if you want to, or recorded games are available from AOC Zone. With that being done, let's head to the next series in a couple of minutes' time after I had a bit of a break. It's the last round 1 clash that I have to bring you, and it's going to be Fire versus Vivi.